All right, happy Monday, everybody. We are thrilled to have you on our now. This is Lee, we're probably approaching. This might be a milestone for us. I think we're approaching our like 10th campaign kickoff call. I'm not sure if this is officially 10 or not, but we're getting very close to reaching 10 of these campaign kickoff calls. If you guys are just jumping on with us, let us know in the chat that you can see us, you can hear us, everything looks good. Lee, I would love, because this is a fast-paced session. We call these lightning sessions, right? We're in and out in 30 minutes or so. I would love if you maybe kick things off for us and give us this quick lay of the land of what we covered. Why do we do these, number one? And number two, what's the goal of today's call?
Yeah, absolutely. So, you know, shipping the content is totally where it's at. You've got to
Mm-hmm.
send it to get a reply. You've got to
Mm-hmm.
understand the impetus behind it and the reasoning behind it to execute it well. And so
Yep.
obviously we provide content by email, by text, for social, which can be engaging with new leads potentially.
Yep. Yep.
But yeah, we just wanted to meet up with everybody every Monday and run it down, make sure people can get stuff set up while we're on the call, understand it, and execute it every week because we all know and we all see everybody that executes as is, copy and paste, they all get results. So we want
Yeah.
everybody to have those results.
Yeah, and I think we're going to cover a lot of material today. And to echo Lee's point, it's about execution. Campaign kickoff call is really about saying, listen, we got your week dialed in. We've done the work, we prepared it, we created the content, we created the sales scripts, we created the social media posts, we created the videos for you. Now at this point, it's a matter of just making sure that we are like this is think of this as your internal marketing meeting, right? So
Yeah.
imagine Lee and I are in your office with you, with your staff, with your team. Okay, guys, this is the plan for this week. Let's get to work on it. And that's the intent of this is to really have an action-oriented, action-focused call. And we do these and we love doing these calls because it's a great way for us to give you some background and context behind the plan. So Lee, my favorite win of this past week, because we always like to start off with a win.
Yeah.
My favorite win of this week was our friend Nick Shoemaker posted this, and maybe we could drop the link in the Facebook group
Yeah.
for this. She dropped this win where she said, send out magic buyer letters. Listen, Lee and I are on a mission to get you send more magic buyer letters. We have written, almost a dozen of these variations of these campaigns. But here's the story. She sent out magic buyer letters to two neighborhoods last week, around 500 total. So that's give or take probably a $450 to $500 investment. She got a call today. The house is valued at 1.7 million and the seller plans to downsize. Well, guess what? The person's looking to downsize, right? The buyer now thinks that she's a rock star, and the buyer now is actually basically looking to make a move at the same level as well. And so they were just like completely shocked that she would do it. They were completely shocked that it would that she'd go the extra mile. So the buyer's thrilled, which was always a good thing in this market. And number two, she's going to pick up a $1.7 million listing. And I think this represents sort of the big three things that we talk all the time about on campaign kickoff call, which is three. And there's only three things you're going to have to remember. Number one, the agent who has the most conversations wins. That's first and foremost. Everything we're doing isn't about just marketing for marketing's sake or getting exposure. It's about creating conversations. Number two, the way to have more conversations is through better marketing. Simply, and we're kind of living through the era right now, Lee, of like AI, they call it AI slop, right?
Yeah.
Which is like, it's kind of like, just because you can create a video through Sora, just because you can use AI to write your emails for you, doesn't necessarily mean it's going to drive the results you're looking for. We love AI. We use the heck out of AI, but there has to be a quality bar. And the idea of better marketing is there's things that we know that work, turns of phrase, calls to action, and, different angles and perspectives, making it timely, making it relevant. These are all things that improve the quality of your marketing, which improves the results. So number one, conversations is the most important thing. The agent who has the most conversations wins. The way to have more conversations is through better marketing. And the only way to get better at marketing is number three, which is consistently executing. Results come from repetition. And so as I say all of that, let us know in the chat, by the way, if this is your first time coming, if this is the first time coming to a campaign kickoff call, let us know in the chat right now. We invite everyone every week, but we love seeing some of our newbies, and I can see a lot of familiar faces here on today's call as well. So Lee, let me go ahead and share my screen, and I think we'll start off by just giving a quick overview of the plan on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then we'll get into Thursday and Friday as well. Let me just set the stage, Joe, real quick before I do this. The strategy, because we're going to give you a little bit of the strategy behind the sessions today, behind the tactics today. The strategy is always at the beginning of the week. We're looking to engage our database. We're looking to get people to open, to click. We're looking to get people to raise their hand. We're looking to create some momentum that later in the week we capitalize into appointments. And then finally, think about this in sort of three phases: engage, convert, grow. Beginning of the week is engagement, middle of the week is conversion, end of the week is grow. And what I mean by grow is I mean adding more people to your database. So we start the week off with deal of the week every Monday without fail. And I'm going to pull up an example of this, Lee. We have a brand new template we just dropped. Now, we are obsessed with looking at different businesses outside of real estate. We saw this campaign recently that we love. It was a Canva template from a marketing company that was promoting like marketing. And we just thought it was such a beautiful sort of visual design behind a campaign. So I'm going to go ahead and just show you this. This is a brand new deal of the week Instagram story that you can use to generate leads off of your Instagram following. Now, before I do that, Lee, could you maybe just give us a quick rundown on why we send the deal of the week and what are some of the key points in it so we just make sure that we're all on the same page?
Yeah, absolutely. So I want to be really clear about this. And I know we say this every week, Jimmy, but I think it's super important. The deal of the week is not about giving someone a listing or
Mm-hmm.
showing them pictures of a beautiful home or anything like that. The deal
Yeah,
of the week is designed, the email itself, and I'll come back to social, is designed for simply a reply. The engagement is the reply. Do you want this super secret listing? And so the social shareable is not dissimilar in the sense that it's designed to engage. But Jimmy, this isn't just going to our database, right? This is going out to other consumers. So it's branding, it's potential lead gen. But
correct.
the idea here is that you've got a super secret deal like the good old days. And if you want it, you just need to reply to this email or click on this post and reach out.
Yeah, and this is the thing about deals. It can be and we have a free tool you can all use. We'll talk about AI mode a little bit later on, but we have a free tool that you can use to help find you good deals. But whether it's like the home that's gone viral on Zillow, whether it's a recent price reduction that's really standing out, whether it's a home that is, let's say, an off market listing or pocket listing, or maybe it's one of your listings that you just know is going to move. Like every week without fail, I want you to kind of get in the habit of using the deal of the week. And by the way, for those of you who've been doing it for like 4 weeks, 6 weeks, 8 weeks, you're going to get like bored with it. That's okay. Fall in love with the boring. Trust me on this. It's that the agent who's willing to be bored longer almost always wins.
Yeah.
And so I want you to be sort of fall in love with this idea. So the deal of the week Instagram poll, we give you two variations of this, but the deal of the week, this home is, and then you drop the neighborhood, the bedroom, the bathroom, the unique feature under X dollars, and then you say want this listing link. Yes, 100%. So we give them like sort of two affirmation responses there. Instagram stories. I want to give you some context on this. Instagram stories, you're typically going to see about a 5 to 7% conversion ratio on opportunities, which is to say that when you get 100 people viewing your story, you can get as high as 5 or 7 potential people opting in. When they opt in, that's when you DM them. A DM is a conversation. Go back to number one: an agent who has the most conversations wins. That's why we want to be in that position. Now, if I come back for a second, the second part of today's strategy is the deal of the week email. And again, every week without fail, we try to put you in the best position possible to basically create a deal of the week, which is plenty of homes in this price range, few like this one. And I'll scroll down for a second so you can see this. I've seen a lot of homes in this particular price range that could be 500,000 to 600,000, but rarely do they have a built, beautiful kitchen with 3 acres of land. This single family home in Auburn, New Hampshire is one of the best deals on the market. Here's why. Then you give them the 3 or 4 bullet points. If you want to take a closer look, just reply. I'll send over the full details. And so what we're doing with this, with the Instagram story and the Instagram reel, is we're just trying to get people to raise their hand. We're getting people to sort of hopefully open up the email, see us, engage with us. Familiarity builds trust. with marketing. And so the more that we can be in their inbox, in their feeds, right? In their, on their phone, like the more they can see us, that familiarity breeds trust, which is a huge part of helping us attract more people. So Monday, deal of the week. The goal is dead simple, get it out the door, story, email, done. Now as we move into Tuesday, we now have what we refer to as the email of the week. And if the Monday email is going to go to your prospects, these are the people that you haven't done business with. The Tuesday email is going to typically go to, in this case, either your entire database or your prospects, or sometimes exclusively just your sphere. We'll call that out right here. So we have, listen, let me be clearly. Um, you can send an email to whoever you want. We're going to make recommendations, right? We're going to make recommendations. If you want to tweak and change it, that's your decision. My advice would be, especially if you're getting more familiar and more comfortable with doing this, like just follow our lead for the first 2 or 3 months, and then feel free to, add your own twist to it. But for the most part, I want you just sort of staying on track with us. Lee, could you maybe just take a moment and break down the different types of audiences we recommend within listing leads?
Yeah, absolutely. So essentially, it's two, and then the accumulation of all of those. But prospects are typically obviously people you haven't done business with, leads, people sitting in your database. Obviously, Sphere and past clients are people that you know or have worked with before, and we're hyper aware of this language. This is why we share this recommendation. The language is geared towards either people you haven't talked to and don't know, or people that you have talked to. And so basically, the three buckets you're looking for here are leads or prospects, sphere or past clients that you actually know, or the entire database, whether that's just those two buckets, or if you have a couple other people that are, I don't know what other category they would be in, but could
Mm-hmm.
just be your entire database that's opted in. So we tried to really give you an easy button. And Jimmy, I know people aren't instruction readers, myself included, but I think it's really important that every single one of these campaigns has these very simple steps of how to execute it, who to send it to, and then super simple copy and paste buttons to execute this
Mm-hmm.
content. And I want to lean back into what you said. We see people have great success with just copy and pasting. Yes, once you
Yeah.
feel really good with this and maybe you want to tweak it a little bit, again, don't necessarily recommend that, but the content works as it is. That's why we're writing it for you.
Yeah. What's funny is as we even say that, Lee, what's so important here when it comes to email marketing is, and I'm going to stop sharing for 1 second. I really want you to get comfortable sending a lot more emails. Someone recently asked me on one of these campaign kickoff calls, like, Jimmy, hey, is like sending 3 emails too much? I would love for you to send 14 emails a week. There really is no upper limit to sending emails beyond kind of daily. If you're sending daily emails, that's completely fine. And I think that's the biggest misconception around email marketing is oftentimes we think that by not sending an email and adjusting our frequency, that we are somehow going to improve our results because we're not overwhelming people. Okay, here's a quick test for you. Can you name can you name any email that you got yesterday? Like, think about it. Like, what's one memorable email that you got yesterday that was like business related? I Lee, I can't. I
I can't.
subscribe to 1,000 everything. And that's kind of the whole point is that, like, we know we're sending every day. They don't. We know that we're trying to kind of get in their inbox as frequently as can.
Maybe
Like,
they're not reading it every day, which is why you need to send it more than one day.
I mean, the number of at bats, the number of, like, again, repetitions or results come from repetition, means we got to kind of get the reps in there. So I want you to get really comfortable sending a lot more emails and not be afraid of overwhelm. Someone unsubscribes. I mean, the second best thing in sales is a no. And if someone unsubscribes for your newsletter, that's completely fine, because that tells you that individual is probably really not that interested in real estate, which means they're just eating up bandwidth in your life. So coming back
And
to the
Jimmy, let's
campaign.
let's be clear about that for a quick second too. Just because
Sure.
someone unsubscribes from an automated email That
Yeah,
doesn't mean you can't contact them. That means they don't want your automated email. I know that's not
correct.
the point of this call, but I feel like that bears saying. It simply means they don't want your automated email every week.
That's correct. That's correct. And by the way, we have built the email of the week. The way I want to think about this is we'll get into the actual example here that we have for this week is like this is like literally the world's best action plan because we spend so much time researching, writing, editing, coming back and rewriting, come back and re-editing, and then finally publishing it. So this is an example of a technique that we know works, which is this idea of sort of this is a technique from the Contrarian Sales book, which is provide education and do a sort of an advertorial email that demonstrates you're different than everybody else. And right now, with 1.5 million realtors, and I know that number's dropping a little bit, but that's, those people are leaving, haven't sold anything. We have a situation where differentiation is key. Differentiation is the one of the most important parts of your business. So this is an example of what we refer to as sort of a value add email. Hey, last month, here's some interesting data. 15% of home sales fell apart. Why? Most of the time, it came down to misaligned expectations. That's why we think the most underrated quality in an agent right now is the ability to hold a deal together. We're talking about A and B and C and D. If you Google real estate agent near me, you'll find thousands of agents. But before you do, make sure they have the experience needed to keep a deal together. We're trying to shine a light, Lee, in this campaign. We're trying to shine a light on the idea that like there is a difference between your cousin who sold two houses last year and a really good agent. I'm reminded my dear friend and one of the very first adopters of listing leads right when we started, Tammy Montgomery out of Shreveport, Louisiana. She said on a call, I did a call with her a while back. She goes, I tell my team I'm the coroner. The deal is not dead until I declare it's dead. And I love that because a good agent is finding creative ways. Like so much of what we do is deal doctoring, finding creative ways to get us over the finish line when all things are falling apart. So the email of the week right now is a little bit of an ode to my dear friend Tammy Montgomery and also to agents who are delivering tons of value, which is highlight and showcase the thing that you're really good at that the average agent isn't or doesn't have experience with. So Lee, up until this point, come back to the plan here. Again, reminder for all my newbies on the call right now. Every week, Listing Leads creates and crafts and designs and publishes a plan for you. We are your marketing team. This is your marketing plan. And so we want you to follow along before you start innovating beyond what we have for you today. But there's an important concept here. The beginning of the week is emails and posts to social to get some engagement. Now we're moving on to conversion. So come Wednesday, we are always going to create an email or text script that you can use to create more conversations. Now, I love this script. So this is a script that we were crafting over the last week that's really kind of inspired by the fact, and Lee, I didn't know this. I think I blacked it out like most people, but I looked at Mortgage News Daily 2 years ago and I saw that interest rates were literally 7.91%. So 2 years ago, to my knowledge, 2 years ago, interest rates reached their highest level in well over a decade. Since then, interest rates have been frustratingly unpredictable, have been going up and down, high sevens to mid sevens to low sevens to, all of a sudden we're like, oh, we're going to see five again. Nope, we're back to the high sixes. And now we're kind of settling in as the end of the year rolls up here. We're settling in around 6%, 6.1%. Many people on today's call are getting interest rates in the high fives. So this text script, hey Lee, with rates hovering around six, in parentheses, they were almost 8% 2 years ago. We've been seeing a lot more buyer activity. I just ran the new numbers to see how it's impacting home values. Should I include yours while I'm running these for my clients? Now, Lee, this text that we use here is so jam-packed with little hacks and little tactics that we know work. The first is kind of the traditional exactly what to say angle, which is opening, fact, question. So opening, hey, Lee, fact, this is where the rates were, this is where they are now. Question, which is, hey, should I include one of these reports for your home? But there's so much more here that's worth kind of unpacking, which is we do something. There's in psychology, there's idea of the endowment effect. And the endowment effect basically says, or simply states, that people are more likely to comply or are more open to engaging if they feel like they already have the thing that you're offering. And so what we're doing with this particular campaign is we're saying like, hey, we've already done this thing. It's ready for you. I'm going to be doing it for other clients as well. And should I also make sure I get you yours? And it's a small and subtle but really important technique that we're using here with one goal in mind, which is to have more conversations, get people to reply, get people to engage. So Lee, let me back up for a second here, which is the first thing is I want you to start the week off with the email of the week, right? I'm sorry, the deal of the week email. Get your database engaged. Then you send the email of the week. That's going to get more people engaged. Now, follow the logic here. Now that you got people opening up your emails on Monday, opening your emails on Tuesday, you now have built the world's best sales list that you can begin to use to prospect. And so that anyone who's opened up and engaged with you on Monday and Tuesday, Lee, that's who you're going to be following up with on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. And so, and I can see Lee may have froze for me. Can you guys hear me okay? Let me know in the chat that you can hear me and you can still see me. I'm assuming. Okay, good. Thank you, Lee. Making sure. Okay, great. Lee, Lee. Usually it's me with the Wi-Fi issues here. Looks like it's Lee a little bit today. You're good, Lee. We can all still see you as well. Lee, is there anything else you want to add on the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday sort of strategy? Anything else you think was worth diving into?
It is absolutely the key. I won't tell the story about people still replying to my old newsletter all the time. Can go, oh, hey, this just changed. Oh, hey, we're thinking of listing one our whatever that is. Just stay on top of mind. Just do it.
Yeah, I love it. And Lee, and we're having a little bit, it might just be on my end here, Lee, so I apologize. We're having a little bit of Wi-Fi issues with Lee. And let me know if Lee's breaking up a little bit for you guys. And he can definitely still answer questions in the chat. Okay, cool. Thanks, Stephanie. All right, Lee's got Wi-Fi issues. Don't worry, Lee. I will cover down, my friend. You're good. You're good. All right. So on that note, let me go ahead and share my screen again. So at this point, we covered the Monday deal of the week, Tuesday email of the week. Um, if you haven't done so already, we built a tool called AI Mode. Every single listing leads member gets AI Mode for 30 days if you're for free. If you are trying to automate some of this plan, AI Mode is the answer. If you're like, hey, Jimmy, I love the deal of the week. I just haven't been consistent. Hey, Jimmy, I love the email of the week. I just have not been nearly as consistent as I want. I really encourage you to check out AI Mode. We rolled this out now about 30, 45 days ago. We had some early beta testers. I see my friend Tiffany Vasquez in the chat. She was one of our early testers. Ross Hardy, a few other people as well. Absolutely. Absolutely. Let me just be clear. We do a Wednesday call on this, and I think Lee can drop a link to that as well. We'll definitely email a link to the recording on AI Mode. We won't spend much time on it today. But if you are struggling with execution, if you're like, I get it, I know this works, I know it's going to get results, but I just haven't figured out a way to make time for it, AI Mode is absolutely a viable answer for you. All right, so let's keep building on this. One of the things that we like to do is we like to take the Monday and Tuesday to engage our database. Then we use the Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday to basically convert our database. And as we go to end the week, we always focus on creative ideas to keep you more active on social media and engage more. In the chat right now, let me know, is growing your brand and getting leads from social media and YouTube a priority for you in 2026? Yes or no in the chat for me right now. Like, is that a big priority for you going into next year? And you could just see everyone saying, yep, like Paul, yep, Carrie, yep, Rob, yep, Taylor, absolutely, thumbs up, 100%, yes, sir. I love it. So, one of the things I always like to remind you guys of this, because I know it's easy to forget. If you go to the left hand side, you're going to see a section called Viral Leaderboard. If you click on that, folks, every week we update the viral leaderboard with the best Instagram and social media post we have seen the last 7 days. And what's so powerful about this is that we are tracking now over 1,500 creators across real estate. This is the best place on the entire internet to find inspiration. We have this month, and then we have our previous ones, which are staff picks. You can go so deep into this to basically build out your entire marketing, your social media marketing plan. I mean, there's so much gold here. And if you go on the left hand side, you'll see we have actually the best Instagram reels where this is like a kind of a collection beyond just our viral leaderboard. So we kind of cherry picked the best of the best, but there was a lot more here. And actually in the chat, let me know, have you used this feature? Have you used the viral leaderboard or have you used the best Instagram reels or YouTube videos? Like, okay, so Trisha's saying no. We got a few people who have not used it, not yet. I am telling you right now, for everybody who said social media and YouTube are a priority, this is where it is at. We pour so much. We have a whole tool that we use to help scrape all this information. We have a human being who's analyzing it. I mean, there is so much gold in here. This is the best. Like, I know people like to write blog posts about videos and marketing. We are updating this every single week for the best stuff. And you can see here, I'll just call this out one thing. You'll see that we have this score here. See that 30x, 13x, over 100x. This is what we refer to as an outlier score. So in this case, if I click on this video here, you'll see an AI summary of the video. You'll see the hook that she used. You'll see the CTA. You'll see some of the power words that she used. Now, in this case, Natasha has 7,950 subscribers. So this is like a rising star. This video has 18,000 views. That's 30x more than her typical video on her YouTube channel, which tells me that this is a video that you can create for your market that would likely get similar results. If I were to move to Houston in blank year, I'd move here. And you could just see 330 likes, 112 comments. I mean, this is, if you're trying to get serious about social media or you're trying to get serious about YouTube, this is such a gold mine for you. And so, yes, we have the plan. The plan is designed to say, I want you to do this every week because I want you to get more people in your database raising their hand, and I want you to get more opportunities and appointments. But then as we get to the tail part of the week, Thursday, we have an Instagram story for you. This is, again, designed to get you this is a very dead simple conversation starter. Drop a story. I wish my house was blank, bigger, smaller, in a different neighborhood. This is the beginning of a conversation. The agent who has the most conversations wins. Now, if I go to Friday, we are going to going deep every week with you, which is we're saying, hey, we found a great video that we think is really powerful. We're going to create a show flow doc. We're going to create a Canva template you can use. We're going to create the video title and description, the SEO optimized title. We're going to include the hashtags. Like, everything is there. That looks like by the way, that looks like an AI generated version of me with glasses,
It
sort of.
does.
Right. Like that. I think the team is just trying to like gaslight me here a little bit. But we provide all of it. And you can see here in the notes, Bethany and the team, this template was inspired by two standout videos, Nicholas and Kyle, that talk about the shift in a way that's real and useful. It's not fear mongering. It's not chasing clicks. They show you what happens and how it impacts it. So I'm going to go ahead and just give you an example. If I click on this, it probably will pull up the video. So this is an example of this video, and I don't know why agents have ads turned on for some of their channels. I definitely would not, for what it's worth. But you can see here, 17,000 views, and this is the original video, and we provide the other link as well. So Lee, as we wrap campaign kickoff call, I think I'll give some closing thoughts here, which is I want you starting off the week getting appointments. There's a principle that you heard me teach before, which is lead with revenue. That's it. Lead with revenue. Send an email, send a text, get an appointment, go help some people buy and sell. Lead with revenue. Then I want you to start growing your database and growing your brand. I want you to get money coming in the door on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then I want you sort of growing your brand on Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Now, Lee, in the best case scenario, everybody on this call was like our friend Alex Hermosi or Sharon, who could post 5, 10, 20 times a day and be doing all that. Like the reality is like like the reality is so much of a struggle with that. And so I don't want you to be afraid to like start small and build. It's okay. What I want you to do though is I want to start you on third base, which is I don't want you to waste time executing strategies that just don't work. We're going to curate the literally the best campaign to create and then say just do this. And if you just do this, you're not gonna have to spend all that time kind of experimenting with hoping it's gonna work. We're gonna give you sort of what we believe is the best campaigns based on all the data, all the examples, all the creators that we study. So Lee, on that note, we got a lot of questions that came in. I know your Wi-Fi was out, but you appear to be back and good to
Yeah.
go. Is there anything that we missed on campaign kickoff call, or any other questions you think are worth diving into today?
Well, yeah, and it takes us back to the beginning a little bit, but I want to tackle this. The deal of the week does not have to be your listing. This is a big part of what I think is confusing for a lot of people. Do I have to get permission? Do I have to do this? If it's through my
Yeah,
brokerage, is that okay? What if I'm in a non-disclosure state? We're not actually sending a property as the deal of the week. So I just wanted to
yeah,
reiterate that.
correct,
I know it's a paradigm shift. I know people are like, wait, we send listings to people. That's what we do. But we're sending the idea of a listing to engage them to reply, and then you can send them the listing. This is how we get around needing permission. It's how we get around, using uh, not using someone else's copyrighted photos. So I just wanted
correct.
to be really clear. This is not about finding a listing, getting permission from the listing agent, and all that. It's simply a listing.
Correct. Correct. Yeah, this is a um, knock on wood here, but we have had thousands of agents send out tens of thousands of deals a week, and no one has ever gotten fined. Um, and because you're not promoting a particular property per se in the direct sense where you're giving a link and listings and information, you're just using and say, "Hey, I've got some information. Would you like to know more about this?"
And you're not
Um,
pretending it's your listing. Well, at no
that's
point do
correct.
we say, hey, I've got this listing.
Correct.
So there is
Correct.
a listing.
That's correct. And so, and by the way, we had a question about people who need additional support. We have a listing leads basics call every Tuesday, every other Tuesday, excuse me.
Yes. Tomorrow.
And so we have one tomorrow. So for those of you who need like just say, hey, just like show me how the tools work a little bit more, go a little bit deeper. Like we got a lot of OGs on today's call, so we don't spend time going through like the real basic stuff. We actually do host that call. So if you're just jumping on campaign kickoff and you're like, hey, I love this, but I need a little bit of a refresher, we host the basics call tomorrow. I would highly recommend jumping in on that as well. Yep, absolutely. Thank you, Tiffany. So Lee, on that note, one last training we have. I mentioned briefly at the beginning of today's call that we have our AI mode training every week. It's every Wednesday. So for those of you who like Jimmy, Lee, we love these ideas, but can you please automate this for me? Can you please use
Yes, we
this
can.
mythical thing called AI to make my life easier? The answer is absolutely yes. Jump on the Wednesday call with us. We'll go deep on that. Make sure you get your account set up and get you off to the races. But we'll save that for our Wednesday AI kickoff call.
Jimmy,
And
we
then
forgot something. I got a bonus for you.
fire away.
You wrote the beautiful, beautiful buyer text script that kind of snuck out over the weekend.
Oh yes,
And
yes.
it's
Thank.
not in the plan. I dropped a link to it, but I'll drop another one after I drop the AI mode link.
Oh yeah, you know what? So sometimes this happens where
You just get
I
bored on the weekend, you write a new text.
you know what it is I can't help myself. So if like I see something, I think it was somebody reached out to me about this company I've been following for a long time. There was a big news, there's a technology company, they had this big news around like they just did this great integration and it was amazing and the product got better. And it was like, it was a business software tool. And the sales rep reached out to me and he had the same opening line and it immediately caught my attention. I'm going to go ahead and pull it up real quick so you can see this. So this is the buyer activation script that I wrote over the weekend, which is, hey, Lee, you probably already saw the news, but just in case you didn't. Now, what I'm implying there is this is really important information that a lot of people know. And if you'd say, hey, this is really important information a lot of people know, you want to know. You do not want to feel like you're left out. Interest rates are finally getting down to the low sixes, even high fives. And then the question is, how closely have you been following the market? And this is actually a script that you can definitely use for your cold leads, people who are engaging with you who are like maybe you haven't followed up with in 6 months, 12 months. But you can also send this over to people in your SOI, some of your past clients in your sphere, because the question is such a soft, easy to answer question that is not implying that they're looking to make a move or they're looking to sell their house, but rather just a kind of a temperature check of your customer. If you go follow me on Instagram, you'll see my co-author, exactly what to say, Phil Jones. He gave like 4 or 5 additional examples beyond how closely they've been involved in the market. Some great insight there as well. But this is a script that I would 100% use this week, kind of sprinkle in for anybody who I've neglected, anybody who's engaging with me, and certainly even some of my past clients in sphere of influence. So thank you, Lee and Bethany, for mentioning that. We did drop that new script over the weekend. And we had a question from Alexandra. Did you post the 22 headlines and listing leads? That's on my Instagram profile. We'll definitely share that in listing leads. We don't have a place like the interesting thing, Alexandra, is we don't really have a place for headlines because we create everything. Meaning we don't just create so I posted on Instagram this like 22 headlines you could use to attract sellers. And it's kind of the beginning of a marketing campaign, but not the entire marketing campaign. So we don't actually usually post that, but if you go to Instagram, it's there. That'd be helpful.
But we'll
This
make
could,
those in if they're we'll bake those into the content. So you're welcome to use them, but you're going to
yeah,
get them because you're a
you're gonna,
supporter.
yeah, great point, Lee. Alexander, you're gonna see that like in our emails. You're gonna see some of that in our text. You're gonna see some of those campaigns repurposed, and we'll just like go all the way for you. We'll create the campaign for you. Yeah, 100%. Julie saying this could be a seller text as well. Some of them have been waiting to list and sell. Actually, Julia, let me end with this. This is data, by the way. Can we say this? This is data everybody should know, which is when interest rates are at 6% or higher, only about 5 to 6% of prospective sellers would consider selling. This is done from, I think it was I want to say it was mortgage, it was Capital One, or it was one of the financial institutions that did this. Bethany will know what it was in the chat because we've referenced this before. At 6%, between 5 and 6% of would-be sellers would consider selling. At 5%, that number skyrockets to 35%, literally a 7x increase. So 5 is actually the magic number when it comes to getting some of that frozen inventory that's been sitting on the sidelines to actually consider making a move. Now, we don't have as much of an inventory problem as we have had in the past. We are seeing more inventory across more places, but it's also about having good inventory. And people will have realistic expectations and good areas that actually do want to sell and that are willing to price their home competitively. So I don't think there's anything really wrong with having more inventory, especially if it's the right type of inventory. So on that note, I really hope you guys enjoyed today's session. This is the campaign kickoff call. We host these every single Monday to help motivate you, educate you, inspire you, and get you in action so you can start getting some customers. Tuesday, we're hosting the listing leads basics call. Wednesday, we will be back for AI mode. And as always, we'll be back here Mondays for campaign kickoff. Thank you, Lee, so much. Thank you, everyone, for being a part of today's session. We'll see you soon.